I know I said yesterday, but I constantly continue to say today that I hope we all have a wonderful day. But you've had a good day when you run into quite a few people that you haven't seen in a while, or there are people that you've been meaning to talk to. Happy Saturday, everybody. Yep, we made it to the weekend. Hooray! And my voice is still shot. But, anyway, yeah. Yesterday was a pretty good day overall. And I attribute that to, I actually ran into quite a few people that I've been meaning to talk to or I haven't seen in years. Like, at first, I went to visit my father in the hospital. And I was going to do that anyway. But little did I know that we actually ran, not when I was there, my mother was also there, but another person who was there was one of our local priests. I've said before, we're Catholic, we go to church. And my father's, one of the things my father does for the town is he's the treasurer for the church in our area, I guess. The point is, the priest was actually there. And it was actually interesting because I actually had a bit of a bone to pick with him. Nothing too serious. It's just that on St. Patrick's Day, on Saturday night, he said the mass that I went to. And he actually had every opportunity to end the mass with the traditional Irish blessing on St. Patrick's Day, and he didn't do it. But, I wasn't mad. The timing would be perfect, you know? But, you know what? I got to kick something off my bucket list. If you remember my St. Patrick's Day video, the Irish blessing I left for you guys at the very end is actually something I always wanted to hear this particular priest say to me. So, I actually got him to do it before he left. So, yeah, I can cross it off my bucket list. Not often you get to say that now, is it? The more I think about it, though, being Irish is great, especially on St. Patrick's Day. But if you're also Catholic, depending on what day of the week it is, St. Patrick's Day can be a real problem. Funny enough, though, the days where it is actually a problem are Friday and Saturday. See, on Fridays it's bad because, as I've said before, if you practice a Christian or Catholic faith, you know you can't have meat on Fridays. And a traditional St. Patrick's Day dinner consists of corned beef and cabbage. But let's be honest, I'm a carnivore. I'm there for the corned beef. Although I really do like the cabbage. The point is you can't have it. But full disclosure, though, one thing I do like to do with corned beef and cabbage is if the cabbage is boiled and falling off like individual layers like, cabbage does, I'll actually roll up the pieces of corned beef into that and make like a cabbage wrap out of it. That's really cool. Anyway, after I visited my father, I immediately went to Rita's. And I actually saw an old math teacher I had for the first time in years. She was actually, it's been so long, she actually goes by a different name. She got married, obviously. But, yeah, I had this particular math teacher my sophomore year of high school. And it was the first time I had seen her in years. And, I walk up to her and I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, you look familiar. You wouldn't happen to teach math over at Horseheads High School, would you? Because I think I may have had you for a teacher. So it was great seeing her again. And last night before I left dinner, I'm putting on my coat. I was at Olive Garden. I was putting on my jacket, waiting for my change for the check I paid. And these two ladies call me over. Well, it turns out these two ladies know my parents very well. And the fact that I look exactly like my father has nothing to do with the fact they were able to call me out, right? Anyway, so we talked for a little while. We talked because one of the ladies actually has a cottage up at Keuka Lake near my family's cottage. My grandparents on my father's side, the east side. And we're talking about going to the Sweats and stuff like that. It was great. It was a really interesting time, and I had to leave them alone because I was kind of in the mood to go home. But more importantly, they had just started eating dinner, and even though they called me over and it was no trouble at all, I still didn't want to disturb them. It's just honestly one of those things. So, yeah. Today, for those of you who practice Catholic Christian faith or whatever, today is Palm Sunday. The final Sunday before Easter. So, yay, Lent's almost over. Which means one more Friday before I can no longer not have meat on Fridays. So, that's always a plus. Not that it didn't really bother me. I mean, Red Lobster and Olive Garden have been godsends for me. But, it just feels different. But again, I don't know what I'll do after Lent's over, where I'll go. Anyway, today is I bring this up because Palm Sunday, for this particular Mass, they actually give us free palms, from palm trees, which is really neat. But technically, more importantly, and this is something I always dread because this always makes this particular Mass longer, we read through the entirety of the Passion of the Christ. Yeah, that Mel Gibson movie from the early 2000s? It turns that movie's actually based on a book. The book, the Bible. So, yeah. We gotta read through the entirety of the Passion. I mean, it's not really anything bad. It's just, I've said before, going to Mass is not my favorite. Going to church is not my favorite thing in the world. Because obviously it's boring. So boring, it's already putting me to sleep. Anyway, it's so long that it makes Mass that much longer. I mean, the good news is I don't need to see the Mel Gibson movie because I already know how the story goes. I mean, I'm positive there are probably a few things different, but I've never seen the movie, nor do I want to. I mean, if you're very curious to see the movie yourself, go right ahead and watch it. I'm sure at this time of year especially, it's probably on Netflix. You can probably watch it there. If you want a true blue religious experience, you can go to a church service this weekend. I'm sure they're probably reading it. I'm sure they're reading it. Why wouldn't they? Excuse me. Sorry, this is really early in the morning. But if you want my deepest recommendation for something that you may want to do, if you want to read or watch The Passion, anything, just watch Passion of the Jew from South Park. It's more entertaining. Anyway, that's about all I have to say for right now. As per usual, I'm humbled that I made this video for you guys to watch and enjoy today. I'm hopeful that we all have a wonderful day. And remember, if you guys ever want to talk, if you guys ever want to chat, I'm always here to lend an ear. And I've always got your back. So, take care, everybody.